Jesus is talking to his disciples. Again, I say unto you that if two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven. So in verse 19, Jesus is referring to the believers. So if two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, meaning touching anything that other people are asking to be healed of, my Father which is in heaven shall heal them. For where two or three are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. So this is referring again to the believers that if two or three are gathered in my name, Jesus will be in the midst of them. Wow, this is so powerful. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Till 7 times? Jesus saith unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7. So Jesus is saying you're not going to forgive your brother 7 times, but 70 times 7. Therefore is the kingdom of heaven likened unto a certain king, which would take account of his servants. So Jesus is comparing the kingdom of heaven like a certain king which settles accounts with his servants. And now Jesus will explain verse 23 in the next verses. And when he had begun to reckon, so when this king began to think, one was brought unto him, which owed him 10,000 talents. So one servant was brought to the king, which owed him money. But for as much as he had not to pay, his Lord commanded him to be sold, and his wife and children, and all that he had, and payment to be made. So this servant did not have any money to pay back, but his Lord had commanded for him to be sold, his children, his wife, and everything that he had until he pays his debts in full. The servant therefore fell down and worshipped him, saying, Lord, have patience with me, and I will pay thee all. Then the Lord of that servant was moved with compassion, and loosed him and forgave him the debt. So the Lord of that servant was moved with compassion and released him and forgave him of his debt. But the same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants, which owed him 100 pence. And he laid hands on him and took him by the throat, saying, Pay me that thou owest. So the same servant that was forgiven from the king went out and found another servant under him, which owed him money, and he laid hands upon him and took him by the throat and said, Pay me what you owe me. And his fellow servant fell down at his feet and besought him, saying, Have patience with me, and I will pay thee all. And the second servant fell down at the first servant's feet and said, Please have patience with me. I will pay everything that I owe you. Just give me some time. And he would not, but went and cast him into prison till he should pay the debt. So the first servant did not forgive the second servant under him, but put him in prison till he pays his debt in full. So when his fellow servants saw what was done, they were very sorry, and came and told unto their Lord all that was done. So when the other servants found out what happened, they were very sorry and told the Lord what happened. Then his Lord, after that he had called him, said unto him, O thou wicked servant, I forgave thee all that debt, because thou desirest me. So when the Lord, the king, was called and found out, he told the first servant that he forgave, Oh, you wicked, wicked servant, I forgave all the debt to you because you entreated me. Shouldest not thou also have had compassion on thy fellow servant, even as I had pity on thee? Wow. So he tells the first servant, should you have not had compassion on your second servant, on your other servant, just like I had compassion and pity on you? And his Lord was wroth and delivered him to the tormentors till he should pay all that was due unto him. So then the king was very angry and delivered him to the tormentors, which is referring to the jailers who are meant to be there to make the debtors miserable and suffer until they pay their debts in full. So likewise shall my heavenly Father do also unto you, if ye from your hearts forgive not every one his brother their trespasses. Wow. So in verse 35, Jesus is explaining that my heavenly Father is going to do to you if you do not forgive from your hearts your fellow man their trespasses. What a message of forgiveness. Absolutely incredible.